Kanha is a tiger reserve in Madhya Pradesh. And Kanha is actually famous all around the world. Despite being a tiger reserve, it's famous not for a tiger, but for another kind of wild animal. Can you name what that animal is? Adults can also try. No, not mongoose. No. Okay, it's a kind of deer. I'll give you a hint. It's a kind of deer. No. No. What? Reindeer? No, there are no reindeer in India. Some of you may have read the book, some of you may have not, but I wanted to introduce the book to all of you. And for that, I thought the best way would be for all of you to join Ruddy in solving some crime scenes. Now, these are not crime scenes that detectives like Sherlock Holmes and Feluda solve. These are not even true crime scenes. There's no actual crime happening. It's just that Naturalist Ruddy is a mongoose who thinks of himself as a detective. He's not an authorized detective. And whatever he sees in nature around him, he treats those observations as crime scenes. And in solving them, you and I, readers of the book, get to know how nature works a lot better. Okay, so that's the idea of the book. And just to introduce you to my work, my series of cartoons and comics is called Green Humour. If you subscribe to newspapers like The Hindu or other wildlife magazines like Round Glass, if you read Manga Bay, you may have seen this series, Green Humour. It's a series of cartoons and comics on wildlife, nature conservation, environment conservation, and even the politics of conserving nature. So that's my mainstay. But in my free time, I also do books like Naturalist Ruddy. So yeah, I'm a bird watcher, as Mamta had mentioned earlier. And I'm very fond of traveling to faraway places in search of birds that are hard to see, hard to get for bird watchers like me. But something happened in 2020 that forced me to be homebound. And what was that? COVID, that's right. When COVID struck, I could not go out in search of birds. And so I was stuck at home and forced to explore my own backyard, my own surroundings to dig out more wildlife and to know more about them. And I realized because of COVID, or thanks to COVID, I realized how little I know about my own neighbors. So I have two pets, Shrishti and Sakshi, who you'll see digging up the garden on the screen. With their help, with their digging skills rather, I unearthed quite a few wild animals living in my own vicinity. And I started to document them in illustrations. So these are, you'd be surprised to know, these are all creatures I found in my home, not even outside, right inside my home. So that you can see 8 species of moths, several butterflies, there's 6 dragonflies, and different kinds of wasps making different kinds of nests. And all of this, I'm lucky to have them within my home. And all these creatures presented themselves to me as mysteries because I knew very little about them. And not just me, even experts around me who knew birds, mammals very well, they knew very little about insects. So I had to consult the real experts, entomologists. You know what an entomologist is? Anybody? That's right, a person who studies insects. So I had to consult entomologists to know what is going on with the creatures I'm seeing. And because this involved a lot of mystery solving on my part, I wanted to tell these stories to you all as mysteries themselves. And that's where Naturalist Ruddy came in. So he's a ruddy mongoose who's always ready for adventure. And I hope you all are ready to join him in his adventures today. So a little bit about mongooses. We're very lucky to have 6 species of mongooses in India. India is a very, very biodiverse country. We have the highest count of wild cats in the world. We have the 7th highest count of bird species on the planet for any country. So India is a very, very biodiverse country. And among the 6 mongooses, Naturalist Ruddy is a species called the ruddy mongoose. What is ruddy? Ruddy is the rusty red color of that species. That's how he gets the name Naturalist Ruddy. So the common mongoose that you may be seeing around Bombay is the grey mongoose. Then if you go to Delhi, how many of you have been to Delhi? Did you happen to see a mongoose in that city? You don't remember, okay. So all through the Terai belt, the Terai grassland, the Gangetic plains. That's where you see the small Indian mongoose, which is our smallest species of mongoose. Then if you go to forests anywhere in the peninsula, deciduous forests like Tadoba, Kanha, Pench, you may have heard of these places. Those are places where you are likely to see the ruddy mongoose. It's a forest-dwelling species. If you go to the Western Ghats, you'll see two of those mongooses, the stripe-necked and the brown mongoose. Both of these are only found in the Western Ghats and nowhere else in the world. And then we have India's largest mongoose species, the crab-eating mongoose, which, like all of you here, or most of you here, is very fond of eating crabs. This is a map of Kanha Tiger Reserve, and this is the home of Naturalist Ruddy. Okay, so Kanha is a tiger reserve in Madhya Pradesh, and Kanha is actually famous all around the world. Despite being a tiger reserve, it's famous not for a tiger, but for another kind of wild animal. Can you name what that animal is? Adults can also try. No, not mongoose. No. Ruddy is not that famous yet. Yes? You want to try? No, there are no lions in Kanha, I'm afraid. Yeah? Okay, it has birds, but it's not known for birds. Yeah?
Bears.
No, not bears. Okay, it's a kind of deer. I'll give you a hint. It's a kind of deer. No. No.
Reindeer.
What?
Reindeer.
Reindeer. No, there are no reindeer in India. Another hint, the deer has 12 tines on its antlers. Barasingha. Very good. So there is a kind of barasingha called the hard ground barasingha. There are two kinds of barasinghas, the swamp barasingha and the hard ground barasingha. So the hard ground barasingha is only found in the whole world in Kanha Tiger Reserve. Nowhere else. Okay, it's been hunted out from everywhere else. It's only found in Kanha. Now Kanha is moving some of these deer to a place called Satpura Tiger Reserve, which is also close by in Madhya Pradesh. So Kanha is famous all around the world for the hard ground barasingha, and that's where Naturalist Ruddy also comes from. This is a picture of the ruddy mongoose in the wild that I have taken in Kanha, and that's what a ruddy mongoose's home looks like. What are the tools that detectives use to solve a crime scene? Yeah? Magnifying glass.
Brushes.
Brushes, what for?
For check.
For
Brushing off like some
dust and right.
No, that's not easy.
Yeah.
Camera.
Camera, very good. Shovel, okay. Detectives use shovels. Okay, so these are some of the tools that Naturalist Ruddy uses. A pair of binoculars. What does Ruddy do with the binocular? Ruddy sees distant objects or distant. Yeah. Right. So, for example, butterflies or birds, if he has to look at, he would use a pair of binoculars. Does anybody of you still use notepads, or are you all iPad people? Notepads? Great, me too. Then Naturalist Ruddy is also a bit of a photographer, which I am not. He is quite gadget savvy. Okay, so he also uses a laptop. What is this now? Yeah. Okay. What is a camera trap? Who'll tell me what a camera trap is? Yeah. Very good. Right. More specifically, it's a camera that scientists try to a tree or a rock. And if an animal is passing by, the movement of the animal triggers the camera to capture an image. And that's how scientists often know what are the kind of animals living in a certain habitat that they're studying. So Naturalist Ruddy has a very bad habit. He steals camera traps that the Wildlife Institute of India has put in several national parks. He copies all the data to his computer and he creates crime scenes out of that data. And then he puts the camera trap back. So if any of you plans to steal a camera trap, just remember to put it back from where you stole it. Okay? And this is Ruddy's best friend. What is Ruddy's best friend's name? Hatson. He calls his hat Hatson. After who? Watson. Very good. Yeah. So Sherlock Holmes, the famous detective Sherlock Holmes, he's fictional, by the way. How many of you have read Sherlock Holmes? Okay, some hands. You'll know Watson then, right? Watson is his best friend, his assistant. So Naturalist Ruddy has a hat called Hatson. He also has two other friends who often help him solve very complicated cases. One is a bird called Dr. Shama, She's a molecular biologist. And there's another detective who's a butterfly, and his name is Herschel Poirot. How many of you have read Agatha Christie's books? All right. So you'll know the character Hercule Poirot, and that's what Herschel Poirot is named after. All right, so before we proceed to today's puzzles, I want you all to remember this bit of a disclaimer. Do not touch any wildlife unless you are a certified wildlife biologist or a mongoose. I guess none of us is either. So let's just remember never to touch a wild animal, okay? Because we don't have the skill that mongooses possess. Mongooses are resistant to snake venom. They eat snakes. And in the event of a snake bite, they might just get stunned or incapacitated for a while, and then they resume action like nothing happened. But we are not capable of that. A snake bite can kill us, right? So just remember this. And what I'm going to present to you all now are 3 crime scenes. I need you to be very, very, very attentive and think like detectives, okay? So when the crime scene is happening in front of you, I just want you to observe every detail on the screen. I'll read out to you then what's happening, and then we'll solve the crime scene step by step like a detective would and try to figure out what the culprit is or what is really happening. Are you ready? All of you? Great. So here's the first one. Just observe what is happening in the 2 images, okay? Naturalist Ruddy has been observing 2 insects perched on the lush green leaves of a vine. One is a shiny, metallic jewel beetle. What is iridescent? What does iridescent mean? You've seen the surface of metal shine when the light falls on it? So that is iridescence, okay? So this beetle is iridescent. And the other insect is a dull green leaf hopper. Can you see the leaf hopper?
Yeah, the word is holy bit.
Is the jewel beetle to the left or the right? Left, great, okay. Now, an Indian robin flies in looking for a meal. The robin is the bird, alright? Now, Ruddy's obvious guess is that the robin will go for the jewel beetle because it is so shiny. But the robin instead hunts the leaf hopper, which has camouflage. It is so well hidden in the leaves. The bird, instead of hunting the shiny insect, has gone for the insect that was colored dull and well hidden in the leaves. Why do you think the bird chose the leaf hopper and not the jewel beetle? Wait, we have 4 options. Wait. A, because robins love challenges. B, because the robin wants to confuse Ruddy. C, because the beetle's shiny colors warn the bird that it is toxic or poisonous. Or is it D, because the shine of the beetle actually makes its camouflage better against lush, glossy leaves? How many of you would guess A? Robins love challenges. B, the robin wants to confuse Ruddy. D, because the shine of the beetle actually makes the camouflage better. Maybe. And C, because the shiny color means that it is toxic. You're wrong. It's D. Normally, even I would have guessed C because there are a lot of insects in the natural world who warn their predators about their toxicity. Very common species are a lot of butterflies. You know, they advertise their toxicity with loud colors. Sorry? No, not mealybugs. So, the jewel beetle is an exception to this rule. It has loud, shiny colors, but the purpose is very different. It's not a toxic insect. It uses the shine to camouflage itself better against the glossy surfaces of leaves. You know when dewdrops fall on leaves, how they shine? They have a certain iridescence. And so when a predator of the beetle is looking at the beetle, it often assumes that it's just a dewdrop on the leaf. If you go to any city park in Mumbai, there's a good chance you'll spot the jewel beetle, provided your eyes are keen enough to spot it. Okay. Second crime scene. Was this too tough? The second one is a little easier. Observe very carefully what is happening. Look at every corner of the picture and I'll tell you what the crime scene is all about. So on a scorching summer noon, at Boar Tiger Reserve. Where is Boar Tiger Reserve? Can anybody guess? I come from a city called Nagpur. Do you know where Nagpur is? So Boar Tiger Reserve is just 40 kilometers from my home. It's India's smallest tiger reserve. And that's where Ruddy is in this particular set of stories. Naturalist Ruddy's search for a cozy spot to nap in brings him to the mouth of a tiny cave. You all see the cave?
Yes.
Yeah, you all see the cave, right?
Tiny boat.
Yeah. But Ruddy cautions himself against entering the cave when he spots the remains of a deer strewn around its entrance. Do you all see the remains of the deer?
I know.
Wait. You can't give the answer away. Be good detectives, please. Whoever killed the deer must be resting in the cave. Now, the deer, Ruddy knows that the deer is a sambar. A sambar is as tall as me. It's about 6 feet tall, which is even taller than me. I'm only 5'8". So the sambar is India's largest deer, alright? And only a tiger or a leopard is capable of killing a deer this big. But the entrance to the cave is just 2 feet in diameter. So the problem is, which animal that is capable of killing India's largest deer could be just 2 feet in size? Anybody wants to guess who the murderer is? Who killed the deer? Yeah? An owl can kill a deer, really? Oh, you've read the book. No, you're not allowed. Yeah. A kind of snake. A snake can kill a deer with a bite, but can it eat a whole deer? Okay, even if you assume that a python has eaten the deer, will it spill the bones out like this? No, right? So it's got to be something other than a snake. Yeah? A fox. A fox is capable of killing the fawn of a deer, yes, but not an adult grown male sambar. Now, you see the antler, right? That's a very huge antler. That only the adult male sambar has. Alright? And like I said, it's about 6 feet in height. Yes, you want to guess? Okay. Right, that's a good guess. It's a possibility, but let's find out what's happening. Hold on. Step by step, like good detectives. Ruddy takes cover behind a boulder and keeps his eyes glued to the cave's entrance. The culprit is certainly a crepuscular creature. So many difficult words, no? Okay, so there are diurnal animals that are active in the day. There are nocturnal animals that are active in the night. Can you give me an example of a nocturnal animal? Owl, very good. Anything else? Nightingale. No. Bat, very good, yes. So, diurnal and nocturnal animals. What's in the middle is crepuscular. Crepuscular animals are active during dawn and dusk, okay? Not during the rest of the day. So, the culprit is a crepuscular creature to have disappeared in the cover of the cave's darkness during the day, Ruddy assesses. At dusk, a snout emerges. Ruddy can barely contain his curiosity. The deer hunter is seconds away from disclosing its identity. And like you all guessed after reading the book, it is a porcupine. But the porcupine is a vegetarian animal. Ruddy was right to guess that the cave's occupant was a crepuscular animal, but completely wrong to assume it had killed the stag. What is a porcupine doing with the remains of a stag then? Yeah?
He's going to suck all the dead bodies.
How many of you are vegetarians here? Okay, I'll tell you what to do to get calcium. The herbivorous porcupine has a habit of picking bones and antlers from the dead bodies of deer to later chew on them and supplement its diet with calcium. So you all know what to do to get. I'm joking, you all have calcium supplements, but in the wild, these herbivorous animals don't have them. So how they get calcium is innovation like this, okay? Have you all seen deer licking at the forest floor? You have? They do that to get minerals. Care for some crunchy antlers, offers the porcupine. But Ruddy is a carnivore, he's a meat eater, he doesn't need calcium supplements, so he declines the offer politely. But not before mumbling some cuss words at the prickly rodent for ruining his noon nap. Okay, that was a lot of thinking, that was a lot of brain work. Before we jump into the next crime scene, which is very, very difficult and it's not in the book. I knew some of you will cheat, so I've added a crime scene that is not in the book. Just observe everything that is happening. This one involves murder. Have you all observed the crime scene very well? You see everything? 3 questions come to our mind here. What exactly happened here? Who was killed and who was the killer? Now do you have a guess in mind? Who do you think could have committed the murder? Right. Wow, okay. Anybody else wants to take a guess? Yeah. Snake bit a deer. But snakes don't have feet. And there's a trail of footprints, right? Okay. Yeah. Right. Sherlock Holmes said something that we should all remember. Guessing is a shocking habit, destructive to the logical faculty. What does this mean? Guessing is the enemy of common sense, in simple words. So we won't just make wild guesses. We'll arrive at the culprit tactically, like a detective would. Okay? So first, where in India do you find snow? Look at this map and tell me. We find snow in the Himalayas, alright? And you all know the Himalayas are from the north to the northeast, okay? Now let's do a roundup of all the possible suspects. Now the suspects are obviously the carnivorous animals that are found in the Himalayas, right? So these are the common carnivores of the Himalayas. The Himalayan black bear, the brown bear, the snow leopard. There are 4 kinds of cats here. The snow leopard, the common leopard, the lynx, and the Pallas's cat. There are 2 members of the dog family. One is the Tibetan wolf and the other is the red fox. And then there are 2 weasels. One is called the mountain weasel and the other is called the yellow-throated marten. So how many suspects do we have here? Do a quick count. 10, right? And out of these 10, one animal is the murderer. Who could that be? Why? Okay. Any other guesses? Bear. Yes, we'll come to that. Let's see the footprints again. Ruddy's tracks are fresh because they follow where Ruddy is going. But the killer's tracks, they continue all the way down. Alright? If you see very clearly, you'll have to strain your eyes a little. But the killer's tracks are continuing all the way down. Now the prey means the animal that has been killed. Okay. The prey's tracks have stopped where the blood marks are. Okay. Now, because there is blood splattered everywhere, it indicates that a brawl has taken place. What is a brawl? Brawl means fight. Yeah. You fight with your siblings, right? You do? Okay. I'm very happy to know that. So brawl has taken place, which means that the hunter and the hunted animal may have been of equal strength. So if it was a leopard killing a rabbit, would it have to fight the rabbit? No, right? It would just pick it up and leave. But it had to fight, which means that they are both of equal strength. And because there are drag marks, it also means that the prey was dragged and not carried, which means that the animal that was hunted may have been heavy. The animal that is hunted is a leopard. The hunter is a leopard. And what is it carrying? Okay. The easiest way to solve this crime, which is getting very complicated now, is to do a size comparison. Okay. We know that the hunter's tracks are almost the same in size as a mongoose's, right? Because you see the 2 circles? So the hunter's tracks are almost the same size as Naturalist Ruddy's tracks. Naturalist Ruddy is a mongoose. How big is a mongoose? About this big. Naturalist Ruddy was the hunter. Okay, let's find out. But the tracks are different from his marks. They are just similar in size. Okay, so let's do a size comparison for all the suspects and figure out which is closer to the mongoose in size. So first, let's take the 2 bears first, okay? The black bear is about as tall as me. The brown bear even bigger. They are massive animals. So can they be compared to a mongoose's size? So we can eliminate both of them from our suspect list. Then we have the 4 cat members of the cat family. The snow leopard and the leopard are considerably larger than a mongoose, but the lynx and the Pallas's cat are comparable to the size of a mongoose. Okay? So out of these, which are the 2 we'll leave out? Snow leopard and the leopard. Very good. Out of the 2 members of the dog family, the wolf is a very large animal, but the fox's footprints can be comparable in size to the mongooses. Is the fox? Wait, we have 2 other suspects, the weasels. Out of these, it's the Himalayan weasel that is much smaller than a mongoose, but the marten can still be compared to the size of a mongoose. Out of all the 10 suspects now, we are left with 4. Red fox, lynx, Pallas's cat, marten. Now do you have a guess? Yeah? Okay. How many of you for red fox? Adults can also pitch in. How many of you for red fox? Okay, how many of you for lynx? Alright. How many of you for marten? Okay, marten gets the most unanimous response. And Pallas's cat? Just 2 hands. Alright. The most important clue to this mystery was that there are no claw marks in the pug mark of the killer. Do you see Ruddy's tracks? You see the points at the end? Those are claw marks. Why are the claw marks showing in a mongoose's footprint but not in the killer's footprint? Yes? Mongooses have claws. The killer also has claws. But why aren't the claws showing in the footprint? Very good. So, the killer is a cat because only a cat can retract the claws when it's walking. Have you seen a house cat walk? Have you seen its tracks right after it has walked? Try it next time. Okay? You'll never see the claw marks. Exactly. The claws come out when it's hunting or using the claws for something, like for scratching. That's right. Yeah. So that leaves us with only 2 suspects. Both are cats. The lynx and the Pallas's cat. Now again, to know which one of this is the killer, we'll have to step back a little. Wait. A mammal with hooves was killed. Okay? Now which are the hooved mammals in the Himalayas? Ibex, Himalayan tar, sero, goral, bharal, Tibetan gazelle. Out of these 6, only the goral, which is about the size of a goat, is an animal that can be killed by a small cat. Okay? So let's do a size comparison between the killed animal and the 2 suspects. Now can you guess? Why? It's so tiny. Okay. Have you heard of pikas, the animal? Okay. The Pokemon Pikachu? Yeah? Perfect. So Pikachu is apparently modeled after a Himalayan animal called the pika. Okay, it's a tiny rodent-like animal, very cute looking, and that is the favorite food of the Pallas's cat. The Pallas's cat loves to eat pikas. So it doesn't touch animals as big as the goats, like gorals. Only a lynx is capable of that. And so we finally have the killer in front of us, which is the Eurasian lynx. Naturalist Ruddy, the book has 39 such mysteries which you'll be required to think a lot, okay, while you read the book. Of course, he gives the answers away as well if you don't want to think. But it's just a lot of fun if you participate as a detective. And that's the book for you. How many of you like to write postcards and letters to your friends? Wow, I'm very dismayed. I still do. And though for those of you who'd like to try it, there are 2 postcards at the back of the book which you can just tear apart and use it to write to your friends. How many of you like to draw cartoons? Okay, I'm glad there are more hands. So, okay, how many of you like mathematics? Wow, some weirdos here. No. It's a very useful subject to, and you should like it. I get nightmares about mathematics even today. And one of the reasons why I became an artist was to escape math. But I was, no, I was uninformed. Because math is everywhere. Even when I became a cartoonist, I had to rely on mathematics to get my characters right. This is all geometry, yeah. So how Ruddy was created is using simple geometric shapes like an elongated cylinder, some circles, some ovals, and finally you have an assemblage of shapes. That is Naturalist Ruddy. Now cartoonists rely a lot on geometry because the characters need to be consistent frame after frame. So there has to be a formula to create that character without getting it wrong. And it's not just about getting your characters right, it's also about acting. You have to be very good actors to be a good cartoonist. A little bit about how I became a cartoonist. I saw my first wild tigress in a place called Nagzira. It's also a tiger reserve very close to my hometown, Nagpur. And that tigress sparked the idea in me to draw cartoons about wildlife. And that's how my series was born. She was not bathing in Mahua Essence shower gel. That's just a detail I've added. But she was taking a bath in a water hole. And today, the cartoons I draw, they speak about the problems that wild animals face in India. You all might know that India recently recorded more than 3,000 tigers in the last census. But do we have enough space for all these tigers to live peacefully? Do we or do we not? What do you think, kids? Do we have enough space for 3,000 tigers in India? No, right? And why do we not have enough space? People are too busy making roads and buildings. Anything else? Crazy governments. Very good. Okay. Right. What for? Make furniture, paper. All right. Yeah. Right. Okay. So, whenever you have the time, read up more about the kind of problems that wild animals are facing, because it's not just knowing wildlife better that I'm trying to get you all into, but also to play a part in protecting them. Of course, after you've grown up and you go out to vote, whenever that happens, when you're 18, you'll be going out to contest your vote in elections. And when you do so, I want all of you to think with an environmental conscience, okay? Have wildlife, have environment in your mind when you go out to cast your vote. That's it from me. Thanks a lot, everyone. I hope you had a good time.
Your grandparents sacrificed so much, came to this different country and did well in life. Please remember that the hardships of your ancestors.